Fine day to you all. Warms my heart to see such friendly faces on this rainy day. We do so rely on one another during the planting season. I've just been out in the garden to realize how much there is to do. Look at the young ones on the weeding, and spring waits for no soul. Now, I am Miss Margaret Stinchcomb Tydings, and I reside here on this property with my husband, Mr. Henry Tydings, and our 4 beautiful children, Sarah, Henry, Oliver, and little Emma. I grew up only a stone's throw away here at Persimmon Point, and my husband bought this land for a mere pittance at an auction. So the move here was idyllic, not too far from mother and father, who still live at my dear childhood home. My brother Alfred owns Pettibone's Rest, just over the Little Magothy, and my other brothers Thomas and William are never too far away. It is so important to have family nearby. But I'm getting away from myself. We really should be to work. Now, there is so much to do indeed. Now, the fields need plowed, the seeds need sown. I only wish the good Lord had blessed me with a few more daughters to help with the canning and putting up. We grow mostly corn here on this farm, and I tend to the garden of vegetables and herbs. Behind me, though, you'll see we'll soon have an orchard full of persimmons, pawpaws, peaches, plums, cherries, and apples. Now, the Waterford Pond grist mill is not too far away, thankfully, so we can grind our wheat and corn there. Just thinking about all that charring and jam certainly does make me a little lightheaded. We do have some help here, though. On this property, we have 4 enslaved Africans, and during the harvest and planting seasons, we all share the workforce between us neighbors. Yes, we'll all be out there from dusk till dawn. We even have guests helping out. Currently, a John H. Milburn, one of my husband's family friends, has been staying with us for about a year now, but we sure do put him to work. Looking you all over, though, I'm not sure I would trust you with my farm just yet. Have you been farmers for very long? Or merchants, perhaps? I wouldn't trust a shop owner to know the difference between a weed or a sprout, but I'm sure I can find something for you all to do. We call this the Henson Hall Garden after the 2 men who assisted my husband in the fields on this farm. The women helped me in the kitchen and have added a number of receipts to my cookbook. They grow mostly beans, squash, and melons in this garden behind me, and surrounding it is what you would call a wattle fence. It keeps most of the rodents out. I much prefer the look of a standard English fence, but I suppose it does its job just the same. Last year they made off with half of our carrots. Now my husband spends his free time standing outside my garden with rifle in hand. He seems to think he is God himself watching over my garden. Now, everyone enjoys a good corn pone or corn cake, yes? It is a little bit of trouble to shell all the corn, but it's worth the time. Now, I'm sure it's all the same in your household, but we only use flour for company and Sunday bread. But since you folks are helping us out today, I think my Sarah has some baking as we speak. The vegetables, when ready, are harvested and then packed into salt. Then the herbs I take and hang from the rafters. Let me show you my garden. Now, since I'm a mama to 4 youngsters, I have to make sure my medicine cupboard is always full. Between the quinces and the colica, I make sure I always have plenty of garlic, foxglove, and mint. My little Emma, now that she's teething, I give her a yellow flower that's just within this garden. If she chews on it, her mouth becomes numb. And there's no more crying for me, thankfully. So, the garden is not only good for eating, but for healing, as I like to say. Well, now I'm all sure that you're aware of what's been happening to our wonderful city. Our dear Annapolis has been taken under martial law. It is disturbing to think where our country is headed. That dreadful Mr. Lincoln is conducting the White House in such a shameful manner. It is no wonder the states are starting to secede. My brothers are even talking about going down there and helping with the cause. My husband, he's been running supplies down past the lines. He said if he could help, this was how. They call themselves brigade runners. But I told him, I said, Henry Tydings, if you dare go alone, I will alert the lines myself. So now he goes with several neighbors, the Bryces, the Spriggs, and the McCalls. He said if he could help, this was how, and so I let him. We ladies all sit up quilting and praying for the good Lord to help them come home safely. It's a risky business, but we all must do our part.